There's no need to fear. Hezokai is here.
Imagine a world that didn't have the terms law enforcer or police or cop. Imagine a world that the way you identified what authority was by what they were wearing on their head. And just imagine for just a moment, if you could just imagine that behind these lenses, there was cameras that went out in 6 different directions. And these goggles right here with these particular kind of glasses, that the new agency that's in authority, they don't wear a gun or a badge. They wear a headset like this one. But to get one like this that has cameras pointing in 6 different directions, that goes to both transparency and also goes to the Montesquieu for checks and balances, 2 different agencies see what I see at all times. My headphones are a beacon for drones.
Wait. What?
My headphones are a beacon for drones.
Well, now we know why he wears them all the time.
In a decentralized, transparent,
Orwellian surveillance state?
free country.
Oh.
Transparency. When this person comes on the scene, you realize everybody's watching. We get bonuses by not violating your rights because this goes to 2 different agencies at the same time. No need for a uniform, no need to scream and yell. I am transparency. The judge could be watching this. Who will be in charge of your sentence? A new day has dawned. We're looking at something that is possible now, that can be done now. What happens? You see 20 cops on the scene for someone who was jaywalking.
I've never seen that. Have any of you guys ever seen that?
You know what? I'm not going to say anything else until all the graphics are done. But I want you to think about a new reality that we could do now. All that equipment that they have, all that ridiculous Fallujah, it's not happening. Someone shot a gun in Brooklyn, in New York, and oh my God, right? But even still, nobody with a machine gun helped. It's ridiculous. Transparency is the way. Transparency is the new future. And so in the great state of Ohio, by 2026, this is what I'll implement as governor. Where people see what's going on and we don't, I'm not going to say anything else. And then I will get out of this and I will talk about solving Ironton.
That's right, buddy. Don't forget to plug your new website.
Okay. So, So now, With that, what I want to say is I'll be laying out a full, complete version of the ins and outs of how the new system works. That's based 100% on transparency in a decentralized, transparent force, that the video footage goes back to a centralized location, to several centralized, to a
Oh, come on, buddy. You can do it. I know you can do it. Come on.
You want to have more than 2 hubs where they get all that data. You want to split that data between a few different hubs of the same organization for transparency. So that's what's going to be coming up. That'll be coming up by this weekend. I've met some people online. I'll give them a shout out, but I can't remember their username. Hold on a second.
You should have spent more time on preparation of what you were going to say than on buying those cheap, stupid sunglasses.
But there's just so many things that have to happen. We have to end all home invasions. That has to come to an end. We have to end all attack dogs. We don't need attack dogs in America. Nobody needs to be attacked with a dog. If you're a cop and you need to ride around with an attack dog, we don't need you because you can't help yourself. Those are just the lowest hanging fruits, but the whole system has to be changed. It's not working. And we have the possibility to take us into a new paradigm, into a new reality. And it's available now, right now. This, just so you know, just to give you guys a gloss over transparency, this ends all car chases. Amber alerts become something that's very relevant to you, where you can help people through transparency. I can't wait to lay this out for you guys, and I'm going to do it by this weekend. So now let's talk about the obvious. If you check the community page in the post and Facebook, you see that today, both Wendell Kent Freeman and I, Jose Maria de Castro, we filed federal civil rights lawsuits, both of us against Lawrence County and mine against Pam Wagner. And I sued Brad Spuljarek for arresting me, and Kent sued Jonathan Spuljarek for the violent, excessive force beatdown and a chilling of a Second Amendment right. It's just absolutely incredible. And so we actually followed through with civil litigation against 9 people. I posted it in the community page. I posted it on my Facebook page. You guys can read get the case number off the top. It's filed in Cincinnati with the federal district court. And just so any other cops know, if you decide to play games with my rights, I will sue you. I will sue you. And if you think you won't get in trouble for it, eventually, you know what? You will, just like Spuljarek got in trouble for it. It's real simple. My rights are unequivocal. My rights are without question. So do me a favor, you guys, hit the number 1 button. Let me know where you guys are from. Hit the number 1 button and just write in here where you guys are watching from so that I understand. Shanna Parker, what's going on? Good to see everybody. So, cool. I'm just seeing where everybody's from all over the country. A lot of people from Ohio. So if you guys are just joining this cast right now, what I was talking about earlier was a new system called transparency. And I actually kind of gave away a little bit of the prototype because
His prototype?
it's so important that we understand that we live in a new era of technology called the digital era. And we now can take transparency to a whole new level. For the first time ever, the Bill of Rights can become a reality because everybody can see how you're being treated. We've never been more equal than we have before this time in our period.
As the great Magical would always say, having trouble with your wordy bits?
We've never been more equal than we have before this time in our period of history, because we have the ability to show what's happening to us in live real time. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. If you guys are just joining the broadcast, let me show you exactly what I showed the people earlier when I first came on. So this would be transparency. You wouldn't call it police anymore. You wouldn't call it law enforcement. That's not what it would be. This outfit, to get this headset, you have to go to school for 2 years. You have to learn what being transparent is truly about. And it's not about law enforcers. It's not about policing America because we're free. This is about allowing everybody to see what's happening. And when transparency comes onto the scene, whether it be a bar fight or a domestic, you know, and I know, and everybody knows that transparency, when they come, there's 6 cameras, all different directions. And there's people in 2 different agencies, in transparency and in Montesquieu. And they're watching everything. Now, at this point, because you know right here, everybody is seeing you right now. The judge could be seeing you. You have a choice. You can keep fighting or you can stop. And there's going to be some people who won't stop fighting. There's going to be some crazy people who shoot at people. There is going to be still crazies. The change happens, though, when we realize that we're all now on camera. We're on camera. And this changed the whole Amber Alert system as well. I don't want to get into specifics right now because I have some big layouts coming out here pretty soon, but I want you to think about it in a new way. We no longer need a cowboy with a gun on his side and a big hunk of metal on his chest coming walking in, I'm going to help out. And then we end up with 20 cops hanging out at someone's house and they're all sitting around talking. It's a horrible system. It's an excessive system. It's an abusive system. And it's time to change it. And it's time to change it now. And transparency offers you the freedom to be free without your rights being violated, because in this year, he's going to hear from transparency. And in this year, he's going to hear from the Montesquieu. So if transparency says, oh, I'm going to walk over there because that guy's jaywalking, you hear a voice from the Montesquieu said, no, you're not. Leave him alone. Because we don't need the amount of law enforcing that's been put on us. We don't need cops hiding along the side of the freeway. We don't need DEA agents pulling you over because you were following too close, but oh, by the way, we're just going to check your car. Because we've given these people absolute power. We should immediately move to a transparent system, especially immediately now, because we can't see from behind the lapel camera. They can turn it on and off. It's such a joke. And there's no 2 parties getting the same information at the same time. And that goes into the Montesquieu agents as well. Montesquieu agents arrest bad actors. But it's going to take the bad actors out of it because everything's going to be on camera.
Speaking of bad actors, here's some clips from one of the worst. And now, ladies and gentlemen, prepare to witness the greatest moment in the history of Chili de Castro, the Crusher.
And this is going to be this coming weekend. I'm going to lay out in full. You guys have no idea what I'm going to show you this coming weekend called transparency. It's going to blow your mind if you're open to thinking in a new way. Okay. You know, I'm sorry, officer, unless you have a transparency with you, I want nothing to do with you. Unless you have transparency here, we're not continuing. Transparency shows up on the scene with 6 cameras and 2 agencies, 1 in each ear, and a drone system and a different system of enforcement of authority, if need be, than these jackboot thugs do. These guys are going to kill your autistic kid. We're not going to kill him because everybody's watching. We don't need to fall back if he has a knife. We have different apparatuses to take down the autistic kid if he has to be taken down. And a knife doesn't scare the transparency team because we've invested in the proper armor to make sure that they have the best possibility to save their own life. But here's the best thing about this. You know what this does? This brings respect back to people who put themselves in a position of authority to be a civil servant. Do you see? Because if you put yourself in a position of authority, you put yourself in the position of being a civil servant to the people. Now, what this does is makes it so that everybody can see what everybody's doing at all times. You can always see 6 different cameras and 2 different agencies. That this agency over here has agents to arrest bad people in transparency, which there's not going to be any because everything's on camera. When you see police officers shoot someone today, it's often behind a pin or a lapel or it's fell off. To get this apparatus, it takes 2 years of study, and this is fit to your head that has to be booted up through a system with 4 different towers that all have to boom you on. And then there's people watching you through your transparency. This doesn't come off. This is on. This is fit to your head.
Have you got it yet? First, he invented Velcro handcuffs that he wants to replace all modern handcuffs with, making a ton of money because they're his patent. And now he's trying to sell what he calls transparency, which also would make him an insanely large amount of money. This guy is the ultimate con man, the ultimate cult leader, and an absolute idiot.
This makes you transparent. It can see down, around, everything your hands are doing below you can be seen by the cameras. This is a new paradigm. So I'll give you a simple example. If you're looking for a white car with a kid in the back of it, all transparency can walk out to the lawn and look around, and then you have all 6 cameras with people in 2 different agencies looking for that kid, if it's really about safety. This changes the game. They can't turn it on and off. There's no turning it on and off. Once you boot up and 4 different towers okay you, because we need your goggles in 2 different agencies of Montesquieu and 2 different transparent agencies, because the people who are transparent, they are competing for their quarter bonuses based on how little intrusion they create in society and how little violence they use, because they don't need arms. The agencies here that are watching can call in the appropriate amount of force needed. So that means you don't need 16 different agencies that all have jurisdiction over this one house. They hear a man with a gun, and so now you have 16 different agencies converging on it. And there's how much money is that? How much money is it for you and me?
So he just described inventing an insane new technology with a crazy amount of cameras, with headphones that are connected live to 2 different agencies, with 2 different oversight committees, therefore 4 agencies monitoring every single police officer in the country. And he's worried about how much our tax dollars are being spent on the current system. How much is going to be spent buying all that technology, training all those cops, and hiring all those people for all those agencies to have all 4 of them monitor every single police officer 24 hours a day? This guy is an absolute lunatic.
Run away! Run away! Run away!
There's a new dawn. It's called transparency. I'll lay it out in full this weekend. Details of this. Details of how this works. So this is transparency, and what this is there's 6 cameras that go 6 different directions, and the beam from both cameras goes out to 2 different agencies. One's transparency and one's Montesquieu, for Charles de Montesquieu, who wrote the book Spirit of Lawz, 1750, 1751. And so checks and balances now truly is transparency, and the Montesquieu agency has the authority to arrest transparents if they in any way violate people's rights. Because no more are you going to be hurt on camera and then the person not be arrested immediately. If this person takes it too far and hurts you unlawfully, then he should be arrested on the spot and called a crime, not a wrongdoing. So Montesquieu essentially is an opposing agency, but they're in the cameras, and they get a copy of the footage in 2 different agencies. And so now right here, when I walk in, you're seeing that the cameras go all the way around. This is a very particular headset. Now, these are just my headphones, but these ones are GPS locators, and they're internet providers, so that they can always see, and they can see things on their lenses. This is your new uniform. You no longer need a guy with a gun and a hunk of metal on his chest. We don't want it. We don't need it. It's not needed. You need someone who can actually articulate, and then if he does have backup come in, there's just one person talks. Because when you have 4 guys screaming, "Get out, show me your hands," it's just, you sound like a bunch of goons. And meanwhile, we have the technology now, And then when this transmits out, my video goes out to 2 different agencies on multiple levels of each floor so that we have true transparency. And this is the wave of the future. You don't wear a uniform anymore. No more uniforms. This is the uniform. Everybody knows when transparency comes in, you have a decision to make because this footage will be shown at your trial. It doesn't matter where you go. So I'm gonna lay this out in total this coming weekend with much bigger graphics all over the wall. I'm really excited to show it to you guys, but this is very detail oriented. I've been working on this for a very long time, so I'm excited to show you guys. And then you guys can continue to talk about it and take clips and people can make fun of it and do all those things. My headphones are a beacon for drones. My headphones are a beacon for drones.